Everyone in the neighborhood was afraid of him. Not because he had ever hurt anyone, because of the way he looked. A 24-pound Maine Coon named Atlas, with a mane so thick some people mistook him for a small lion escaping from a zoo. But nobody knew what he did at exactly 3 a.m. every single night without fail. And once you hear it, you will never look at a scary cat the same way again. But to understand why Atlas became the most misunderstood cat in the entire county, we have to go back to the beginning. It started 3 years ago in a small house on the edge of town where a woman named Claire had just brought home a kitten she found abandoned behind a grocery store. He was tiny then, barely bigger than her hand. Nobody could have predicted what he would grow into. Within a year, Atlas was already twice the size of a normal house cat. By his second birthday, strangers on the street would stop and stare, sometimes even cross to the other side of the sidewalk. "That's not a cat," a delivery driver once said. "That's a wildcat." Claire laughed it off at first, but the comments never stopped. Neighbors whispered that a cat that big couldn't possibly be gentle. They said he was probably part bobcat, part something wild, something dangerous. One woman even asked Claire to keep him inside whenever her children came to visit. A local mail carrier requested a different route for almost a month, convinced Atlas was sizing him up from the window every morning. Even the veterinarian seemed nervous the first time she examined him, double-checking his weight twice before writing it down. 24 pounds, she confirmed, shaking her head slowly. In 15 years of practice, she had never once held a domestic cat that large on her table. Claire tried to explain that Atlas had never so much as scratched a single person, that he let toddlers pull his fur and never once raised a paw. Nobody believed her, because fear, once it takes root, doesn't care about facts. It only cares about size. And Atlas was enormous. His paws alone were the size of a human palm. His shadow, cast under the porch light, looked like something out of a nature documentary, not a suburban backyard. Then Claire's sister Emma moved in with her newborn daughter Lily after a difficult divorce. The house that once felt calm suddenly felt tense again. Emma had heard the rumors. She had seen the way people reacted to Atlas on the street. "I don't know if I'm comfortable with him near the baby," she told Claire quietly the very first night. Claire didn't argue. She simply said, "Just watch him. Give him a week." Little did anyone know, that week would change everything. The first night, Atlas did something nobody expected. He didn't approach the crib. He didn't paw at the door. He simply walked to the corner of the nursery, sat down, and stared at the crib until sunrise. Eva woke up at dawn startled to find him there, motionless, like a statue carved from orange fur. "He didn't sleep?" she asked, half alarmed. "He never does," Claire said, "not when someone new is in the house." Emma didn't know what to make of that. Was it protection, or was it something closer to suspicion? She watched him carefully over the following days, waiting for a single wrong move. It never came. Instead, something stranger happened. Every time Lily cried in the middle of the night, Atlas was already there before Emma even reached the door. Not pacing, not meowing for attention, just sitting beside the crib, one massive paw resting near the bars, as if standing guard. Emma started setting up a baby monitor just to watch him when she wasn't in the room. Night after night, the footage showed the same thing. Atlas, unmoving, positioned exactly between the crib and the bedroom door, as if he had claimed that spot as his own. He never slept there during the day, only at night, only when the house was quiet and everyone else had let their guard down. And what she saw on that footage would leave her speechless. I see you still haven't subscribed. Honestly, that actually breaks my heart a little. If stories like this move you, hit that subscribe button right now. It truly means everything to us. Little did Emma know, the hardest night was still ahead of them. One night, 3 weeks after Emma moved in, something happened that no camera could have prepared her for. It was 3:12 a.m. Lily had been fighting a fever for 2 days, restless and inconsolable, and Emma had barely slept. She finally dozed off on the couch, exhausted, monitor propped beside her. A faint sound woke her. Not crying, something else. A low, rhythmic rumbling coming through the monitor speaker. She sat up immediately and looked at the screen. Atlas was lying pressed against the side of the crib, his massive body curled protectively along the wooden frame, purring so deeply the monitor's audio distorted. Little's tiny hand was resting against his fur through the bars, and for the first time in 2 days, she was completely still. Not crying, not whimpering, just sleeping peacefully, her fever seeming to break sometime in the night. Emma rushed into the nursery, heart pounding, expecting the worst. Instead, she found her daughter cool to the touch, breathing steady, color back in her cheeks. The pediatrician later told her that fevers often break during deep, uninterrupted rest, and that this was likely a simple coincidence of timing. But Emma couldn't shake the feeling that something more had happened that night. She kept replaying the monitor footage, the way Atlas had positioned his body exactly along the crib's edge, almost like a wall between her daughter and the rest of the room. She thought about the low, steady purring and how Lily's small fingers had curled instinctively toward the sound of it, even in her sleep. Something she couldn't fully explain. From that moment on, she never questioned Atlas again. She watched him differently now, not as a threat the neighbors had warned her about, but as something closer to a guardian who had chosen his post long before anyone gave him permission. Word slowly spread through the neighborhood, the way stories do. The same woman who once asked Claire to keep him locked away came by one afternoon curious, almost embarrassed. She watched Atlas lay motionless for nearly an hour while Lily napped on a blanket beside him, one small fist curled into his fur. "I was wrong about him," she admitted quietly. Claire only smiled. She had known for years, quietly and patiently, what Atlas really was underneath all that size and all that thick, heavy fur. Not a wildcat, not a warning sign, not something to fear. Just an animal built enormous on the outside and impossibly gentle on the inside. Today, Atlas still sits by that crib every single night at exactly 3 a.m., long after Lily has outgrown it, curled instead beside her toddler bed, keeping the same quiet watch he always has. Neighbors who once crossed the street now stop to ask if they can pet him. Children who once hid behind their parents now beg to visit the big lion cat next door. Even the mail carrier who once changed his route stops by on Fridays with a small treat tucked in his pocket, just for Atlas. The veterinarian still shakes her head at his size every checkup, but now she does it with a smile instead of caution. And Claire, watching all of it unfold, says the same thing every time someone asks how she isn't afraid of a cat that size. "He was never the one you needed to be afraid of," she says. "Fear just needed someone to blame." Because some of the gentlest hearts come wrapped in the most intimidating packages, whether they walk on 4 paws or 2 feet. Would you have judged Atlas by his size before ever meeting him, or given him the chance the neighborhood almost never did? Tell me in the comments.